Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys in California. Before I begin, give all praise, it's Most High Yahweh, acknowledgement to Earthly Mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth, so we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Family, today is their January 20th, 2024. We are moving into great and marvelous times for the peeps, for Most High's chosen people. Moving into time where Pluto moves into Aquarius in the 9th house. And many things are going to be revealed. Many things about the homeland, about our holy lands. Many things about our people. People are going to be rethinking their whole concept of race and who they are. And we're going to go into some pretty mind-blowing information right now. Now, what you got to understand is that the things that happen here in America have happened all over the world. Just like they try to make it seem as if like all these platforms are different, like TikTok is different. They're ran by the Chinese, and that they're out for America and whatever else and things like that. I can see now, like I said, they're all, and it's been Psalms 83. It's not about this country and that country. It's all Psalms 83 confederate against the Most High's chosen people. Been going through some things over there on TikTok where they gave me like a strike for a video when I just kind of responded about the Israelites and the accusations they made against us. And I went into some historical information about the Christianity and the things that they've done and things that they're responsible for. And I got a strike and got accused of bullying. The last video I put up yesterday, they took the sound down. No profanity, no music, no copyright issues. They just took it down and said, I violated the rights. I mean, the guidelines. By what? By talking, by reading some history. There's a video that came up here yesterday on YouTube. It's the same one that I tried to put up on TikTok, and they muted the sound. So it just shows you the times that we are in. There, it's like, hey, if what we're saying is wrong, if what most guys have me bringing out is wrong, prove it. But see, these are the actions that you've been doing behind closed doors. We're going to get into some serious stuff right now. It's going to show you that those people they set up over there in the Yucatan are not the people. You're going to tell, I don't care about what people look like. I'm going by actions of people. The Europeans still have controlled, the colonizers still have control over these lands. Just because they put up puppet governments doesn't mean that they are not in control. They're able to just pretty much do whatever they want, get away with it for the most part. And the actual people that live in those lands, have no ways of getting restitution or retribution, because it's still their blessing. It's still Esau's blessing. Esau got the blessing of the sword, and it's not like his blessing went away. They just gave us governments, and they put all these things out in public and whatever else. So I'm looking up something at the same time here, but they're still in control. They've been in control, and it's hold on. That's their blessing. It didn't go away, but it's going away now because we have been restored. We are being restored. Oh, fast. Going there real quick so I can have all this set up for you guys. All right. So here we go. Let's get into this real quick. I'm going to show you this book real fast. We're going to get into it. You're going to see some information I had never even heard about Chichen Itza. Supposedly, right, this is the Most High's people. These lands over here in the Yucatan have all these pyramids, things like that. They've known about all these pyramids and everything else. So it should have been pretty much a national treasure, right? Once they got their independence and everything else, they should these cities, these ancient cities, this information. If these are the people, it should always been important for them to keep these lands and these ancient places in their possession. They would not have, let Europeans or Americans or anybody just come over there and just buy lands and take things over, would they? Because I mean, of course, these are the people, right? The people they show us today. They've always been there. They haven't gone anywhere. They've had those lands. Those lands have always been important to them. So they wouldn't let Europeans come in and just buy the stuff, would they? Well, let's find out. This is a book I'm reading right here I'm reading from People of the Serpent, Life and Adventure Among the Mayas by Edward Herbert Thompson. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you first that the true people that were already here knew who these Europeans were. They knew that they were the Edomites. Check it out. It says, one pathetic passage in the old Maya chronicles has this to say of the coming of the Spaniards. Like I've already showed you guys before, that I've showed you books where they already knew that the Spaniards were coming. It was already there were these omens, right? That were the natives already had about these people coming over here, that they were going to be able to take them down because we already knew about the covenant that we had with the Most High. And he said that if you break the covenant, I'm going to let the Gentile nations come over here and destroy you. But in the Florentine Codex, I've done many videos showing you that there were omens going on for, I don't know, over a decade, previewing the fact that these guys were going to come over here and destroy us. So we already knew this, but check this part out right here. I like this one pathetic passage and the old Maya chronicles, the things you guys are not allowed to read, but they have possession of, right? Has this to say of the coming of the Spaniards. It was then that the teaching of Christianity began. That shall be universal over our land. Now you got people that are here, they're saying that they are the Mayas today, and they're deep into Christianity. They got Cesare Borgia all over the place. They got White Mary all over the place. That's one thing that is, they're all confederate with is worshiping out Christianity. Okay. Then began the execution by hanging and the fire at the ends of our hands, burning their hands, cutting off their hands, all that stuff. Then also came ropes and cords into the world. Then the children of the younger brother passed under the hardship of legal summons and tributes. Look at that. Then the children of the younger brothers passed under the hardship of legal summons and tribute. Who is the younger? You got Esau and Jacob. Who's the younger? Who's the eldest? Esau was the eldest. Jacob was the youngest, or the younger of the brothers, right? Okay. Then the 7 sacraments of the word of God were established. Let us receive our guests heartily. Who are the guests? Our elder brothers come. Our elder brothers come. Now, they try to break it down a different way, but I don't care about their breakdowns. We're talking about what the Most High is giving us to talk about. Jacob and Esau, because the Spaniards came have the attributes of Esau. They were blessed with the sword, and they used that sword to take us down. And we were well aware of this because this was already prophesied that this is going to happen. So you go to Genesis 27. 27. Hold on first. We'll see here. We'll start at Genesis 27:39. And Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. They're going to have the best places eventually. And as with our lands, we had the fatness. We had the best lands. So when they came over here, we're well aware of this prophecy, right? Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And that's what you guys took us down, and you put us in captivity. You were the elder brother. You were the Edomites. You lived by the sword. And if you look in that paragraph right there, you start to see everything right there. But that pretty much shows you the attributes of Esau. Check this out. These elder brothers were no philosophical Greeks, but ruthless empire snatchers living by the sword, right, of the 16th century. With the armies of the conquistadores went missionary priests, okay, who held little with pagan superstitions and sought to convert the heathen swiftly to their own uncompromising creed. Okay, and they brought those inquisitions over here as well. The fire was not all at the ends of our hands, for the sacred books of the Mayas containing the lore of the ages, okay, and of inestimable value, went up in smoke on the pyre of ignorant bigotry. No, they were just trying to hide the information, hide who we are, so they can put up another people here at the end. Now, you still got this inestimable value because of all the lore of the ages, all this information, all this knowledge that is now coming to an end. The fact that they could hide it, they could hide who we are, hide this information. That's why we're moving into this time, this time of Aquarius. Pluto moved into Aquarius in the ninth house. That's showing that we're coming to the end of the movement to hide all this information. That's what the book of Revelation is talking about, the revealing of the truth. Okay, so only 3 of these codices are known to exist today, and I think they said there was 4, and 3 of them are in European museums. There's like 1 in Mexico City. For this vandalism must answer that strange man, Diego de Landa, for years a Franciscan missionary among the Mayas, and later second bishop of Yucatan. His enemies, including some of our own priesthood, called de Landa hard-hearted, fanatical, and cruel. And he was even tried in Spain for his cruelties to the Indians of Yucatan. Yeah, after they've already done everything, you know how it is. They do all the horrible things to our people, and then, oh well, we're going to bring up charges, but they always find themselves not guilty, just like the scriptures say. Yet I believe that in his case, the soul of an archaeologist was hidden under the cassock of the zealot. After destroying priceless historical material, he bethought himself of writing a history, Relación de las Cosas de Yucatán, account of the things of Yucatan, which has been a great assistance to students of the Mayas. Now, hold on. So this guy, actually the king made him write this. That's what the king made him write this history. So the guy who was responsible for coming in, burning all of our information, hiding all of our information, was the same guy that you thought it would be okay to have him write our history. You serious? We could have told our own history with our own writings, but you much rather clean the slate so you can make up our history for us. So how much credibility do you really think that these people are going to have? I would say probably none, because what does it say in Jeremiah 16 and 19? You're going to find out, you're going to go to the Most High and say that our fathers have inherited lies? Yeah, because there's no truth in them. Now, it gets better. Same book, People of the Serpent, Life and Adventures Among the Mayas, by Edward Herbert Thompson. Check this out. I had to do a double take when I read this section of the book. I am an enthusiast by nature, and so completely did I give myself to my work in Yucatan that some of my contemporaries spoke of me as impractical. I carried out many explorations for such institutions as the Peabody Museum of Harvard, the Field Columbian Museum of Chicago, and others. But when there was an expedition to be made and no great foundation at hand to sponsor it, I was wont to undertake it all the same on my own account. This part. I purchased and restored the great plantation of Chichen, which included within its bounds the ruined group of Chichen Itza, ancient capital and sacred city of the Mayas. Whoa, hold on. So you let this American come in and buy this Spanish plantation and the ruins of ancient Chichen Itza. That's what you just said right here. But hey, these people here that you see today, they're the people. But you would allow an American to come in and purchase the ancient ruins of Chichen Itza? This happened in 1894. This dude had free reign pretty much until 1922, around there. I'm around 1922. Actually, I'm in 1924. He got in trouble for some stuff that he was doing. I'll have to check my notes on that later on. But you let an American come in and buy up this land. It's like 100 square miles, something like that. Something ridiculous. This dude, when you see the price, you're going to see that this is all an inside job. How much this dude bought this land for. So now he owns this ancient area. So he gets to go in and study it however he wants. He gets to take out whatever he wants. He gets to show you. He had all of his archaeologist friends coming in here, but this is supposedly a sacred site of these people, but you sell it to an American, the youngest American consul, whatever else, to Mexico. He was working for the government of America. And you're gonna be amazed at how long that this land was in actually private hands. This is just absolutely ridiculous. And to me, I said this just proves the fact that you didn't care about these lands because you knew that they weren't yours in the first place, and you would just sell it for such a cheap price. Pretty much probably keep other people out of it, anyways. But we understand that you have to set up a group there to make them play the part that they like this place has always been important to them. But these lands were never important to them. They were just lands that they could come and exploit. And that's all that they did. They would come over here and exploit. This is why when the righteous are in power, the earth and the people are happy. They're ecstatic. But when the wicked are in charge, the people and the earth mourn because they don't care about the earth. They only care about how they can exploit the earth and exploit the people for their gain. So again, I purchased and restored the great plantation of Chichen, which included within its bounds the ruined group of Chichen Itza, ancient capital and sacred city of the Mayas, so that I might the better study this, the greatest monument of a vanished race. You could just buy a monument of a vanished race, just absolutely ridiculous. And if it was important to the country there, they would have never sold these lands. I have squandered my substance in riotous explorations, and I am altogether satisfied. The reward of a labor of love lies in the performing of it, and I can look back upon a career as full of incident and adventure as any man has the right to expect. So let's check this out now. With the help of Allison Armour Thompson, in 1894 purchased a plantation that included the site of Chichen Itza. He rebuilt the hacienda, which had been destroyed in the caste war of Yucatan. For 30 years, he explored the site. So you got 30 years to explore the site. So you know what to show, what not to show, all that stuff, right? So for 30 years, he explored the site on behalf of the Field Columbian Museum, the American Antiquarian Society, the Peabody Museum at Harvard University, and others. His discoveries included the earliest dated carving upon a lintel in the Temple of the Initial Series, and the excavation of several graves in the Osario High Priest Temple. Thompson is most famous for dredging the Cenote Sagrado, sacred cenote, from 1904 to 1911, where he recovered artifacts of gold, copper, and carved jade, as well as the first ever examples of what were believed to be pre-Columbian Maya cloth and wooden weapons. Thompson shipped the bulk of the artifacts to the Peabody Museum, and he got into a lot of trouble with that. In 1926, the Mexican, I think the government tried to seize the property, but the authorities, or the judges, the justice ruled in his favor in 1944. But he had died a couple of years before that, so then the land went to his heirs. Now, I thought this kind of stuff only went on over here. I thought, hey, Chichen Itza, man, they wouldn't do that over there to these sacred sites because they already knew those people have always been there, so they've already known how important those areas are, right? Yeah, right. They didn't care because they know that those sites have nothing to do with those people or anybody there. If you would sell it, why would you sell it to an American? And then the guy comes and gets all this stuff. That's another video about the dredging of the cenote and him illegally sending all of these artifacts over here to the Peabody Museum, hiding, I'm sure, invaluable information. And what kind of stuff do you think they're not showing everything at that Peabody Museum. So you can imagine what's hidden behind the closed doors. So let's take a look at how much this dude bought Chichen Itza for. Because he must have paid a pretty penny for that, right? Because they've always known that these lands here are so important, right? Yeah, okay, let's see. With $75 US, Thompson acquired 100 square miles of land on which the ruins were located, along with a Spanish plantation house, which he used as his headquarters. While waiting for the plantation house to be rebuilt, now Hacienda Chichen Hotel, The eastern end of Chichen Itza's nunnery served as Thompson's dormitory. $75. I looked that up. I think today that's around $2,600 US right now. So that was one hell of a deal to let this dude buy this land here for $75 US, which is equivalent to like 2,600 bucks US today. So they must have really, cared about these lands so much. They must have really held these lands and these ancient ruins in high regard because they knew that those people have always been there and they've done all these great things there. Once you go and you see this place, you're just like, you really sold this place for, I mean, we only saw one little small portion. You sold 100 square miles for $75. So that just shows that you have no regard for these lands and how sacred they are. But there's more. So the ruins of Chichen Itza are federal property, and the site's stewardship is maintained by Mexico's Instituto Nacional de Antropología and Historia, National Institute of Anthropology and History. The land under the monuments had been privately owned until the 29th of March 2010, when it was purchased by the state of Yucatan. They bought it back for $17.8 million. What an investment. $75 turns into almost $18 million US. But look at the date, 2010. So all of a sudden in 2010, it was important for them to get these lands back. I wonder why. Because they know these times as well. They know that we were going to be awakened. We were going to want to go back to our lands. We were going to want to visit our lands. So they take control of it, but now all of a sudden you can't go into these structures anymore. They got everything roped off. You can't walk on these pyramids. You can't get too close to these ley lines. They don't want you touching certain things. They don't want you looking at certain things. They won't allow you to take like your own high-powered cameras in, but you can rent one, which I'm sure they'll let you rent one that, that probably is not as advanced as some of the stuff that you can purchase today on your own. Because they don't want you zooming in and probably getting more information, because that's why you're roped off. These guys have had 30 plus years to walk and go in and out and take whatever it is they wanted to take and then send it to a museum. So I find it very curious that 2010 was when they found all of a sudden it's important again for the country to own this land, and then they can actually control who goes where, what you see, what you can't see, and everything else. And from one of the books, I couldn't even find this one here, but they called this was the Hebraic bearded man in one of these books. You can see the afro, you can see the beard. And of course, they want to say he was white because I always want to say the white bearded god, right? But this guy has a lot of features. It looks like a brother right here. But that's what we're seeing right now. So you can tell by their actions. I don't care what you say. I'm looking at your actions. Your actions show that you did not hold these lands in high regard. You would sell them for the equivalent of $75 back then, $2,600 now, 100 square miles. You would allow us to have buy a plantation. This place was a hotel. I don't know if it's still a hotel. The family, I think, just one of the families that he sold it for in 1944. I haven't gotten to that whole story yet. Had the hotel running there. It was like one of the only hotels on an archaeological site. How much money they made over all these years, because it's been kept in the family and passed down from generation to generation. But this is just proof, again, that they never held these lands in high regard. All they're trying to do right now is keep us off of them, because they know that we are going to activate once we come on these ley lines once again. But the Most High is now showing that you guys do not have that kind of control anymore. The Most High is going to raise up the lands. He's raising up his people, just like he said in Joel chapter 2. He's jealous for his lands, and he's jealous for his people. You're not going to be able to dictate anything anymore. You're being exposed as not having any understanding, any knowledge, and the fact that you've burned all of the records of our people, or you hid them anyways, and then you want to make it seem as if you're the ones going to be able to come back and rewrite the history. Makes absolutely no sense. Thank you, Father, for having us here at this time and awakening us at this time. I'm so happy that we are able to be here and experience this shift of Pluto into Aquarius in the ninth house. Much love, family. All praise, Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to Earthly Mother. Who is wisdom? Who is Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. Shalom.